Today we're going to continue our look at slope, and as we've already discussed, slope is vertical change over horizontal change. We make a fraction out of it. I want to highlight for you a symbol that we're going to use, and this symbol here, it's called a delta. It is a Greek letter, and when we see that delta, it means change. So when we read this, we're reading the change in y divided by the change in x. And we can do this with a formula. Let me scroll down here. And this formula is well worth your time and effort in memorizing. y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. And it is frequently shown like this. Another way that I like to do this is if I have point xy here, I can label this as point 1, and then I have x, y here, and I can label it as point 2. And the 1's refer to the first point, and the 2's refers to the second point. So let me show you how this works. I'm going to work on number 1 here, and I'm going to call this point 1, and this is point 2. So I'm going to take my y value from point 2 and my y value from point 1, and I've got negative 1 minus 5. So notice this is y2, this is y1. And then I'm going to take my x value, 10 minus 7. Negative 1 minus 5 is negative 6. 10 minus 7 is 3. Negative 6 divided by 3 equals negative 2. So my slope, I'm going to write this, m equals negative 2. Let's try this one. Here's point 1. Here's point 2. Remember, we're using the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to take my y value, 4, minus, and the y value here, negative 2. Okay. And I'm going to use my y, or my x value from point 2, 3, and we're going to subtract the 3 here. What that gives me, 4 minus negative 2 is the same as 4 plus 2. That's 6. 3 minus 3 is 0. Uh-oh! You can't divide by 0. This is not a function. You cannot divide by 0. Not a function. Over here, where we have anything except a number divided by 0, the slope is negative 2. It is a function. Alright, let's try it. Number 3. I'm going to take my y value here from point 2, subtract this one, draw my fraction bar, take my x value from point 2, subtract my x value from point 1. Well, 6 minus 8, I'm going across the top. 6 minus 8 is negative 2. 8 minus negative 2 is 10. If I reduce that fraction, I come up with negative 1 over 5. So my slope is negative 1 over 5. It is a slope, so it is a function. Let's try number 4. I'm going to take my y value from point 2, subtract my y value from point 1, take my x value from point 2, subtract my x value from point 1. I end up with 0 divided by 4. Well, we can do 0 divided by something. That is 0. So my slope is 0. I do have a slope, so that means it is a function. All right. We've got a couple of different forms that we're going to use. One is the slope-intercept form. And you must memorize that as y equals mx plus b or y equals b plus mx. And then we have point slope form, which if you have one point and you know what the slope is, you can use this form. Let's see how we can get the equations using some of these. So number 5, I have a slope. I can write m equals, and I have a point. So I can do this. Well, if I have a point and a slope, I can take this, y minus, and then I take my y value right here. Take my y value, 6, equals, and then I'm going to put my slope in, 2, and see up here how we've got the slope right there? Then we're going to put in parentheses, x minus, and we're going to put in our x value from the point that we're given. This is the point slope form. I can now solve to get y by itself, and it will become the slope-intercept form. So this is point slope form. Now, if I want to solve, I can come over here and I can do y minus 6 equals 2 times x minus 4. The first thing I'm going to do is distribute. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. I'm just going to bring down the left side. I need to get my 6 off of there. So I'm going to add, since it's minus 6, the opposite is plus 6. Then I end up with y equals 2x, and then negative 8 plus 6 is minus 2. I have just transformed slope-intercept, highlighted in blue, point slope, highlighted in blue, to slope-intercept, highlighted in yellow. Let me show you that again. Let's do number 6. My slope is negative 4. My point is 2, 5. So I can do my y minus the y value, 5, equals my slope times x minus the x value there. Okay? Now if I go to, there we go, that's the point slope form. Now I can solve this. If I do negative 4 times x and negative 4 times negative 2, I end up with y minus 5 equals negative 4x plus 8. I get the plus 8 because negative 4 times negative 2 gives me positive 8. Then I would simply add in, since this is minus 5, I would add 5 to both sides. And I would get y equals negative 4x, and then 8 plus 5 is positive 13. All right. Number 7, again, m equals 1/2. So I would do y minus 3, because I take my y value from right there, In fact, if I wanted, I could write this. x1 equals negative 2. y1 equals 3. So this equals my slope times x minus, then the x value from up here, negative 2. To simplify this, I'm going to write this as y minus 3 equals 1/2 x, and then whenever you have this, the minus negative, it becomes plus 2. That is my point slope form. Now I can write it over here. Y minus 3 equals 1/2 x plus 2. I'm going to simplify this. 1/2 times x is 1/2 x. 1/2 times 2 is 1. Bring down my y minus 3. Going to add 3 back in to both sides to get rid of it on the side with the y. And I end up with y equals 1/2 x plus 4. Now I have my slope-intercept form. Alright, number 8. Number 8 is going to have us figure out what our slope is first. So I need to use my slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I end up with 1 minus 5 over 4 minus 3 equals negative 4 over 1, which equals negative 4. That's my slope. Now it doesn't matter which one of these points I use. It does not matter which one of those points I use. So I will use this one. So I'm going to take y minus 5 equals, here's my slope, negative 4. Remember our parentheses has x minus the x value. You do have to use the same x as the coordinate you got the y. Okay? I would end up with y minus 5 equals negative 4x, negative 4 times x, and then negative 4 times negative 3 gives me plus 12. Get a little more room here. I need to get the minus 5 off of that side, so I'm adding 5 to both sides. I end up with y equals negative 4x plus 17. Slope-intercept, point slope. Let's try this one more time with number 9. The first thing I do is I use my slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I take my negative 1, subtract 7. Negative, let me do this right. Negative 1 minus 7 over, remember we're finding our slope, 1 minus 0. 1 minus 0. Negative 1 minus 7 is negative 8. 1 minus 0 is 1. So our slope, negative 8, divided by 1, is negative 8. I now put this in my formula, y minus, and I'm going to use this here. Let me write this. Y minus 7 equals, I take my slope from right here, and it goes in here, negative 8 times x, and I'm still going to do this, minus 0. which gives me y minus 7 equals negative 8x. See, if I do negative 8 times x, it's negative 8x. Negative 8 times 0, or negative 0, which there is no such thing, is just 0. So I don't need to put it there. Now, all I have to do is add the 7 back in. I added the 7 over here because it does not have an x. The negative 8 has the x with it. I can't combine the two. Y equals negative 8x plus 7. So again, here I have slope-intercept. Here I have point-slope. I want you to practice 10 and 11. And then in class, we're going to cover the word problem.